Something else that also concerns everyone in the country, I tell you, it's got to do with increasing power generation, but this is a different one. Well, yeah, you find out about it in a moment. Well, joined now by Mr. Erepamo Osaisai, who is the Chairman, Chief Executive of Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, this is atomic energy, and straight away people ask, oh, wait. Power generation, atomic energy, connected dots.
First of all, generating electricity from nuclear power is something that is quite common in other climes. Currently, about 16% of global electricity is generated from about 440 nuclear power plants in 30 countries globally. And what we are trying to do in Nigeria is we have quite a number of other energy resources, no doubt, but we're thinking about long-term energy security in the country, and that entails being able to have a diversified basket of energy options in a way that you can plan and plan for ourselves as well as for future generations. So nuclear comes in as a useful one. Also believing that at some point in time, the current energy forms we have, energy sources, like oil, gas, and coal, will get depleted because they are finite in quantity and they could get depleted. So what we're trying to do is if the country must have energy security for all time, you need to plan ahead of time, and that's why we're talking about nuclear.
So this is diversifying our sources of energy in the country. That's what this is about.
It will increase as well as diversify. For now, if you may recall, we generate electricity from gas and hydro.
Yeah.
And I think you may have even recalled that not too long ago, the Minister of Power indicated they signing some agreements for power to be generated from coal-fired power plants. So it's all part of the national program to increase as well as diversify energy options in the country.
Okay. How far gone, sorry, Solomon? How far gone are we in those plans of ours to use nuclear power for peaceful purposes?
Yes, I think that is quite a pertinent question. But let me maybe, by answering it, I hope I wouldn't make you feel, calm. 10 years or 20 years. The important thing is even in the very developed countries where they have all the technology, all the human resource base to implement nuclear power programs, it takes a minimum of about 7 to 10 years. What we are doing in this country is that this generating electricity from nuclear power plants is a serious project. Serious in the sense that once you have a nuclear power plant online, it is going to operate for about 50 to 60 years. You also have to plan for shutting it down and decommissioning it. So you're talking of something that would go on for about 100 years. And so you need to have a proper plan for it. A proper plan for it would be hinged on a number of factors. The first one is that you also have the human resource base that can plan and implement it in a way that is sustainable over time. And so we don't have what I think we're getting a little bit used to in this country, what we call failed projects, particularly when they are mega projects and you don't plan it well, may not work out well. So what we're doing is being able to lay down the framework, the technical framework, as we want to refer to it. A nuclear power roadmap was developed and approved by government in 2007.
Okay.
That envisages that we're going to implement the program in 3 phases. The first phase is being able to develop the needed human resource-based manpower training, infrastructure development in a way that once you start it, it will work. The second phase is that we have to have the needed approvals, design certification, licensing for the siting, and all the needed technical requirements that can make implementation of a nuclear power program safe in the country. Then finally, we'll move on to the third phase, which is actual construction and implementing the nuclear power program.
Well, I have here before me something you wrote, and you call it Energy Sufficiency and Sustainable Development in Nigeria, the possible role of nuclear power. In it, you talked about the same roadmap you just mentioned, and you said I quote you now, the roadmap, if meticulously implemented, will position Nigeria to generate electricity from nuclear power plants in the next 10 years. End of quote. So definitely, you just try to compare what obtains in other countries by saying, well, it takes at least a minimum of 7 to 10 years. Do we have everything in place to really get to that target? Because Nigerians are in dire need of this electricity. And if there are any challenges, maybe you let us know.
Implementing the nuclear power program is a serious responsibility. The tasks are quite challenging, and you don't have shortcuts. You have to ensure that every element of it is being properly done. And like I mentioned, it must be underpinned by a virile and efficient professional manpower. And what we're doing at the present time is to ensure that we create that enabling environment for its sustainable implementation. Like I mentioned, it may take from 7 to 10 years. It could be more, depending on the infrastructural base of the particular country. For instance, maybe talking about infrastructure, if we're going to move components of a nuclear power plant to the seaports, it may have been some prefabricated overseas and you bring it in. You would have to move it from the seaports to hinterland, wherever you've been able to determine that it will be sited. You have to look at the capacity of the rail to be able to do that. Are the routes good enough? And if it is something that you may have to move along the waterways, what about the channels? Are they deep enough in a way that you could? So there are quite a number of issues, and I think in developing a program and sensitizing Nigerians and getting government to approve it, you have to identify all these challenges in a way that they would work at the time you start in it. So what we're doing is creating an environment whereby we could say, yes, it will work, and then you go on. Okay. And I also would want to quickly add, because I think that question will probably come, are we going to be partnering with people doing it?
The private sector?
First of all, technology owners. Okay. In Nigeria, we don't have the technology to generate electricity from almost every source. Even when you're talking about gas-fired plants, we bring people to help us partner with them to doing it. You're talking about coal-fired, hydro, and what have you. And so we must partner with technology owners. The technology owners won't even talk to you if they sense that you haven't been able to create that enabling environment where they know you could have a successful project. So what we're doing is sensitizing government and bring in some element of what we call government funding of the needed human resource base, the infrastructural preparation in a way that others can partner with us. Maybe the other question is, what about partnering with the private sector to finance it and all that? One of the key features of a nuclear power program is that by the time you start until you finish, you may have to tie down your investment for a period of 10 years or more. And not too many investors in our own climate, in our own environment, would want to do that.
They need a definite time frame.
There is a definite time frame, but the time frame would be long in a way that they wouldn't consider it a viable one. They want quick returns on their own investment. Okay. In that case, you would have to partner with people who are used to the business, who are used to waiting for time, ensuring that they will reap ultimately. Right. So that's the kind of thing we do.
But what do you say to those who may think that it looks as though you're placing the cart before the horse? If the infrastructural challenge has not been addressed, straight away they can tell you're going to have challenges, a lot of them also.
I think that is the very point I am making. Identify the challenges and work on to solving them, and that's what we're doing. So it's not that we don't know them. We know the challenges, and we want to take them one at a time in a way. For instance, when I started by saying in other countries where they have developed infrastructure and they know how you can implement a nuclear power program in 7 years. So like Suleiman read from my previous presentation in some technical forum, that in Nigeria it may take 10 years or longer. That's because we have to address these issues in a way that the project, once started, will be successful and it could be sustainable over time.